In this video, we'd like to demonstrate the technique of insertion of a HOYA preloaded IOL with a screw type of injector. So now that we are using a screw type of injector, to me it is important that the anterior chamber be well insufflated. So not only the anterior chamber, the capsular bag and the anterior chamber are well insufflated with viscoelastic. The system of IOL insertion, the injector, the IOL remains the same across the board of all the HOYA IOLs. So at the outset, we put in some viscoelastic into this nozzle by holding the visco cannula perpendicular to the cartridge. We see the tip fill up, and that is the point where we just stop. Next, we press on both these points and lift up the cover of the injector. And finally, this area on either side of the injector are held, pushed forward, and the entire injector system is moved out of its housing. The plunger is moved anteriorly, snapped into its position, and outside the eye and under visualization, the lens is screwed and brought up to the tip of the cartridge.
We now proceed to the IOL insertion itself. Viscoelastic to insufflate the eye, followed by the insertion of the lens. The nozzle is introduced into the wound and slightly into the anterior chamber. The angle of the injector then turned slightly more posteriorly and then in an extremely controlled manner, while rotating in a clockwise direction, the IOL is gradually inserted, and as you can see, the leading haptic opens out perfectly within the capsular bag, while part of the optic and the trailing haptic will possibly come out in the anterior chamber. What you do now is re-insufflate the anterior chamber with viscoelastic, and with the help of a Sinskey hook introduced through the side port, merely tap on the optic backwards, which allows for the trailing haptic to just flop into the bag. After which, the IOL is turned to a horizontal position, and this completes the IOL insertion.